Hi there, welcome to the Gardens to Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the backyard and we are going to do an October backyard garden tour. So I live on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A and we don't get true winters here. Our temperatures run between like 52 in the daytime and drop down to maybe 40, 41 at night. Deep in the winter, we might get down to 35. The best that happens is we get an ice storm in late January, mid-February, somewhere in there. But we don't really get snow. We don't really get a true frost, like a deep frost. We do get a frost enough to like kiss the plants with frost, but it's not anything that like really kills off stuff. So I have to create a winter myself by emptying as much as I can from the garden. There's still some more fall cleanup to do, but we're essentially getting very, very close to the end of the gardening season here in the backyard, at least. All right, so here it is. I think you will notice that it looks very different from what it looked like a month, even 2 weeks ago when we did our last, I think our last backyard garden tour was 3 weeks ago. Maybe not that long ago, I'm not sure. But since then, we've emptied a lot of containers. So I'm gonna just walk around and talk about what it looks like today. Today we took apart our butterfly garden, so we still have some remnants of things going on. The plants that we saved from the butterfly garden are still sitting here. We will move them and put them somewhere more protected for the winter, and we will be planting these plants back into the butterfly garden that we create in this same area, just in a different configuration in the spring. Some of them, there's too many, so we have a whole bunch of autumn joy sedums. I'll plant one of these in the butterfly garden and the rest of them will go out in the landscape somewhere. So let's see what's going on. Our creeping Jenny has slowly become this beautiful mat that you can see a lot more clear now that the butterfly garden has been removed. It needs to be raked out, but it looks really good. I am pleasantly surprised that Creeping Jenny becomes a ground cover and is suppressing weeds, so that's super fun. Moving down this way, we did recently replant our containers, which will come out in a video here next week. You can see what we did, but we removed Escallonia and placed Skimmia. And then this raised bed has been empty for some time, and we've emptied this raised bed as well. The last thing that needs to go is this row of foxglove, and now I know where they're going, so we'll be moving those into the landscape very shortly. Those boxes have been completely emptied out. Swinging around this way, we did save some perennials and planted up this container. As soon as this dianthus is done blooming, we'll cut back the whole plant much lower to the ground. It's time to do that with the begonia and the larkspur. These Canas, they put up bloom stalks, but it's just getting too cold for them to actually bloom. So probably in the next week or so, I will probably just cut them down. Or I might wait until we do get a little bit of a frost to kill the leaves, because I want the leaves to photosynthesize as long as possible. It's even putting off like new growth in there. Isn't that crazy? We've cut down the honeysuckle. Spencer has started to empty out his garden. A lot has been removed. We just have this side that's still going because that's the sunny side, so it still has a little bit of color on it. The maple tree has lost like 2/3 of its leaves. It's still dropping plenty of leaves. I come through and rake out this walkway, like maybe every few days or so. We've emptied out those 2 containers, and now the hellebores are starting to really push new growth in the cooler weather. And I expect to start seeing them bloom in the next 2 months or so, certainly by January, but they are called a Christmas rose. So a couple of the varieties will bloom in the next month. The raspberries are still green. They won't really totally die off until it does get hit by a frost. So those will just be that way for a while. All of these containers have been, we removed everything from this one. We cut back the perennials in those, and we cut back the violas. And then this container has been emptied of all of its sunflowers. So yeah, that is kind of it. We are going to be addressing this butterfly bush and this butterfly bush shortly. Typically with butterfly bushes, you cut them back in like March, but Spencer and I want to get rid of them. Yeah, and we'll talk about that more in a video coming up here, but we're just ready for something new and different in all of our spaces. So we're just moving things around. In the greenhouse, it is chock full of tender perennials. We have the Sun Credibles, we have the penstemon, we have Dusty Miller. I took cuttings off the Dusty Miller. The cuttings are doing great. We have verbena, and look at this. What is it blooming? I guess because it's in the greenhouse. Look at it. Oh my goodness. They're blooming. This is going to be kind of fun. Am I going to have pink cashmere verbena blooms all winter in the greenhouse? Oh, that would be exciting. Okay, so then I'm seeing this. This was an experiment to see if I could keep the coleus. But look at that. Yuck. I just saw that. Oh, that is like not. I wonder because it's really close to the window. Yep, that's what it does out in the landscape. So maybe it just does it. Maybe I won't get to overwinter it. Let's get it off of the window and see if that helps at all. I don't know. All right, well, everything's an experiment. Other than that, of course, all the begonias and everything over on this table is those will be fine, because these last in our landscape. They come back every year. Same with the verbena, they will come back every year. I just have all of these tender perennials in this greenhouse because I want them in different locations than they were living this year. So that is why they're in here. Otherwise, I would not be overwintering perennials. So, and then the last thing I was going to show you out here is our roses are blooming. So there you go. That's it. I do want to show you the moon garden really quick. It's kind of a mess from the lilac shedding her leaves, but I have to show you this impatient. This is a sun patient, a proven winner sun patient. It has gone absolutely gangbusters since we removed the other plants that were in this container, and it is just like so happy here. Of course, I could come in and like clean it up a little bit, but look at that bright hot pink little whatever that is eye. It's not even a full eye. That's really fun. Anyways, this has been a really fun addition to this garden, and Spencer and I want to put them everywhere in here. So that, that was just a little side note I wanted to share with you. And then all of this is just, you know, these will all overwinter, the geraniums, and they're actually blooming right now. But yeah, they're just gonna hang out for the winter. And the Bruala is also still putting on a couple of fresh blooms here and there. And then last but never least, the pond. Yeah, I know I keep saying that I want to get into here and divide all this carex. Now that it's getting cold, I have no idea if I'm ever going to get around to it this year. It's going to have to be top priority next year for sure. But I wanted to show you this container that we planted up this spring. Still has tons of color. The impatiens are definitely showing signs of cold stress. You can see how these ones are much taller because they don't get as much sun. I mean, this is all shade, but this is like deep shade. But the dragon wing begonias, look at them. They're so happy still. Oh, it's so fun. It's really fun to have this much color this late in the season. So here we are the second weekend in November, and I have all of this color in this pot, which makes me just be really excited and inspired to plant more of these in different areas of the garden because how fun. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you are inspired to plant things that bloom in November, that you're getting ready for winter. And if you're already under snow, you're enjoying it with a hot cup of cocoa. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.